My name is Barbara Zawacki, and I am the Chief Operating Officer for Easter Seals Chicago.
Wonderful, wonderful, thank you. So you have been in this space for 3 decades, right? Or close to 3 decades.
Correct. I've been here I celebrated my 30th anniversary on June 15th of this year of 2020. But prior coming to Easter Seals, actually I've been in the field of helping people with disabilities for close to 46 years. I worked previously in another organization that helped individuals with disabilities.
And how have you seen over those 46 years or so the landscape change?
The landscape within the area of disabilities has really changed since I've entered the field dramatically. And when I first started in the field, which was back in 1975, there were children with disabilities. They were not educated in public schools. Children with disabilities were either at home or in schools like Easter Seals has. And with the passage of Public Law 94-142 back in 1975, that changed for children with disabilities. It did open up the opportunity for children with disabilities to be educated, in their home school. But, obviously, children with significant challenges, whether it be the developmental challenges or behavioral challenges, there was still a need for specialized schools like Easter Seals. So in that respect, I have seen, significant changes in how children with disabilities receive their educational and their therapeutic services, as well as the quality of staff that would work with children with disabilities. Back in 1975, I was hired as the first special education teacher within the organization that I had worked for, and they had 9 private schools. So, I was their first teacher ever certified in special ed, and the other individuals that worked there were parents of children who attended the school and just wanted to help out. So not only have we seen the changes in how children are being educated, but also the qualifications of teachers and clinicians over the years. So, I've seen the landscape really change over the years, really, for the better for children, with disabilities.
That's wonderful. And I know you said the law changed in 1975. Would you
Right.
also say that you've seen a change in terms of the perception of individuals with disabilities and what they're capable of?
I have seen a change in the overall perception of people when they come across an individual with disabilities or with challenges, and it really stems from more education of what disabilities are about, and what how people with disabilities can change over the time with the proper education, proper training. So yeah, it's really nice now to see how communities are accepting individuals with challenges in their community.
That's great. I guess, what would you say the role of Easter Seals serving Chicagoland and Greater Rockford is within today's social service education sort of landscape? And also, would you characterize Easter Seals as a social service education organization, or would you characterize it differently?
I characterize Easter Seals serving, Chicago and Greater Rockford area as being one of the lead age organizations providing services to individuals from babies all the way through and including adults. We value and consider Easter Seals as the premier agency within Illinois as providing services, high quality services to the families, to the children's within the region. We have grown within our geographic area over the years. We at one time only served Chicago and the south suburbs, but in 2006 we did merge with the Rockford Easter Seals, and it opened up more areas for us to provide services and to expand our services.
That's great. When you think about your services now, what would you say really distinguishes Easter Seals?
Well, I think it's the services that we provide, in the area of autism, as well as with early childhood. Our services in early childhood have really grown over the years. At one time, it seemed like comprehensive autism was our one division that provided, more services, more clients, and a bigger budget. But now, because of the growth of our early learning services, such as Head Start, it's really grown. We serve over 1,600 young children in Head Start. And so I can see where the services that we now provide are really expanding to other areas.
And my understanding, speaking of early learning, and I know these are two different things, but you played a role, as I understand, in many things, among them developing and implementing Easter Seals early intervention program.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So with early intervention services within Easter Seals, it started back in, I want to say back in 1990, actually 1992. There was and that's actually how our school first started. Our school was affiliated with Michael Reese Hospital, and back then Michael Reese had sold the hospital, and it was I think it was Humana. Humana had purchased Michael Reese. Michael Reese or Humana did not want anything to do with children-based services, so they had the school. They also had early intervention, and because of my previous position of the agency, I knew of the school, and I knew of the early intervention program, because in the other agency I also had started an early intervention program and was very, very involved from ground up with developing the policies and procedures for early intervention, and that was according to Public Law 99-457. So when the opportunity was there to diversify, our services, I had asked the CEO back then, I thought it was an opportunity for Easter Seals to grow and to expand and to diversify funding. So we applied, to the Illinois State Board of Education for the school program, as well as to the Department of Human Services for the early intervention program. We were awarded both. So with early intervention, back then it was all grant funded, where we would get the dollars, to support the implementation of the early intervention program to the children and to the families. In 1996, there was a change in how early intervention was going to be funded. It was not going to be grant funded the way it had been. It was going to be a fee for service. So we decided that we were going to submit a grant application to the state to be what was called back then, it wasn't called CFC's, Child and Family Connection, it was called a Systems Point of Entry. So submitted a proposal, and Easter Seals was chosen to be one of